What's up, guys? Aston Martin just launched their 2023 car, and we are here to do what we do best. Well, take a look at it. How is it different? What should we expect? Well, stick around to the end of the video as we dive deeper into the topic. Okay, you know what? Let's just get into it. Now, after a tough start to the 2022 season where the Silverstone-based team had to change its plans early on, I think it has made a good step over the winter. Dan Fallows, the technical director, said that the new AMR23 was 95% different from its predecessor, and that the team had made some important changes for 2023. This includes a heavily redesigned front wing, new side pods with a much more aggressive sweeping inner ramp, and a different engine cover with a larger roll hoop inlet. Fallows said that Aston Martin didn't stop trying to push the limits of what was possible because it wanted to move up the grid. He said that the design team was quite firm that it wanted to follow all of these rules to the letter, saying that they wanted to move up the grid and start competing with the teams at the front. AMR23 is a big improvement on the car they worked on in the second half of 2022. It's said to be better in every important way. It makes the most of the solutions we thought would give us the best performance and reflect the shared vision we have built over the past few months. Even though there were a lot of changes to the car, Fallows was sure that the team has kept a lot of what was good about the car from last year. He also said that they tried to be brave and aggressive this year, trying to learn from what happened last year, and through AMR 2022, they did make a lot of progress. They wanted to make sure that this was a logical step up from that, and that it also gave them a good base to build on. But at the same time, they wanted it to be aggressive. Well, they wanted to give the whole engineering team a big challenge to make sure they really push themselves. And you can tell that from the way the car is made. This year, the team got a big boost when Fernando Alonso joined. The Spaniard said he hoped the AMR23 would give the team a good starting point so it could start putting pressure on the top three teams, saying that they need to take the lead in the middle provided that they are able to do so and get closer to the top three clubs in the standings. This year, the most important thing for him to accomplish is to make sure that this car and this starting point will be the ones that they build on for future Aston Martin automobiles. He believes that there were some issues with the product from the previous year, which they could all see from the outside. He is also of the opinion that the team experienced a few challenges throughout the course of the season, and as a result, they became a lot more competent by the conclusion of the year. Therefore, it is quite evident that these obstacles are very good once you figure them out and are able to program something into that car. This is the first real car made with this new set of rules, which Aston Martin will hopefully be able to improve in the future. So that will be the most important thing for him this year, that they can improve over the course of the season, and that by the end of 2023, the car will be a standard for future Aston Martin cars. Changes at the factory. Aston Martin's new factory, which will be finished in the next few months before the team moves there, is where the AMR23 was unveiled. The first phase of work should be done by this spring, and the last parts, like the wind tunnel and simulator, should be ready to use by the end of 2024. The team's owner, Lawrence Stroll, said that having access to the new facility would change everything for the team. He said that moving into their new high-tech factory this year is more than just a serious sign of intent, and that it will make everyone in this organization much stronger and give them more power. This will help them reach their goal of closing the gap to the front of the grid and eventually becoming real title contenders. But what does Alonso mean by the word special? Well, last year, Alonso shocked the driver market when, in the summer, he turned down a contract with Alpine to join Aston Martin, a team that was rebuilding and always slower. Given that Alonso is one of F1's oldest drivers, many people didn't understand why he did what he did. Some while ago, Alonso was still confident about his choice and Aston Martin's chances. This is because Aston Martin and Lawrence Stroll have put a lot of money into it. The facilities are getting better and more talented people are coming in, led by the new technical director Dan Fallows, who came from Red Bull. Like many new cars this year, the AMR23 seems to be based on the Red Bull that won the title last year. Don't know if you've heard this, but people have said that it is quite brave and aggressive and that it is a significant evolution of the previous AMR22. Alonso, who won his world titles with Renault almost 20 years ago, said that he is happier and very picky about everything he does. that he always does his best and he expects his coworkers to do the same. He went on to add that since his first day at Aston Martin, he could tell that everyone there had the same values as his, and it really does keep him going. Also adding that in Formula One, you have to make money and talent. And they do have the money, the facilities, and the people who can do the work. But he's not 20 anymore, which is a shame, but he will do his best to help the team. It's rare for Alonso to start a season with this much hope. If he's right, the person who was known for making bad career choices might wish he had made this change earlier in his long and successful career. Okay, so how high can Aston Martin go? Well, before we get to that, make sure you leave a like and hey, come on, subscribe to the channel for more amazing content and the latest news about your favorite sport. All done? Okay, moving on. Aston Martin came from teams that always did more than they should have. They now have the money and facilities to compete with any of F1's top teams, but they know that their project might not get off the ground until a wind tunnel is built in 2025. Long term, Aston Martin wants to win championships. But right now, they're just a bit more focused on getting to the front of the midfield. Even that is a big goal since they were 4th last year, more than 100 points behind Alpine. Alonso also said that he couldn't promise us that they'll be fighting for wins this year because, well, he would be lying. But at the same time, they want to start with a good car, and maybe they can get closer in the second half of the year. And if an opportunity comes along, well, they won't pass it up. He adds that we have to realize that there are no miracles in F1 from one year to the next. It's only been a few months since Abu Dhabi, and there's a big gap to catch up to the top teams. But they have to get out of the middle of the pack and closer to the top 3 teams. This year, the most important thing is to make sure that this is the base from which future Aston Martin cars will be built. The car will be tested at Silverstone before preseason testing on February 23rd to 25th, which will be shown live on Sky Sports F1. The season then starts on March 5th with the Bahrain GP. A few months ago, there was still a huge gap between them and the top teams. And as always, we'll be right here to make sure you are updated on all of the details. And if you'd like them as soon as they're out, turn on that notification bell too. But hey, what do you think about the new car reveal? Do you think there will be any performance differences this year? Share your thoughts in the comment section down below, and we'll see you in the next video. Until then, bye folks.